That's all fine and good, Congressman, but why aren't you being louder about this? Why aren't I hearing anything from this committee? I had to just ask you about it, okay? Just let me be clear. Viewers are sick and tired of hearings. They're sick and tired of letters. They're sick and tired of hearing complaints. They want action. President Trump is in a trial all day long, every day in New York City. Where is this committee of weaponization, and what are you doing about it?
Leave it to the fake news propaganda channel to come up with segments that would have George Carlin and George Orwell rolling in their graves. While Faux News viewers may be sick and tired of hearings, letters, and complaints, I'm getting sick and tired of Maria Bartiromo's voice. Her angry whining is starting to sound like nails on a chalkboard, and by the looks of him, this congressman feels the same.
Nag, 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 nag!
But once you get past the banshee screeches and understand the context of what she's saying, it's actually so much worse.
President Trump is in a trial all day long, every day in New York City. Where is this committee of weaponization, and what are you doing about it?
Even if we set aside the deranged and ironic sentiment that the Law and Order Party should galvanize behind a rich criminal who flouts the law, this woman is complaining to a member of the subcommittee of the weaponization of the federal government about the lack of weaponization of the federal government.
I love the poorly educated.
I guess after they got sued for defamation, Fox just said, screw it, we're strictly a comedy channel now. Who knows, maybe it'll help with the ratings, but I gotta be honest, all I can think of is this scene from The Dark Knight.
Okay, fine. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Not that Fox would have ever died a hero, probably more like a weasel or a parrot, but you get the point.
I just spoke with Kevin Hassett, the former chairman of the White House Economics Council, and he said, make no mistake, if we see President Trump go to jail because he violated this gag order, markets will react.
Oh, boo-hoo. Markets will react to Trump getting thrown in jail? Well, then maybe he shouldn't have, I don't know, committed a crime. Did you forget about that, Maria, or are you just willfully leaving it out? Also, we shouldn't hold Trump accountable because it might move markets is an argument that's crappier than Trump's drawers. For God's sake, markets move when Musk tweets about Dogecoin. It's not that sophisticated.
I love the poorly educated.
The case in New York that the judge is being so, undemocratic, unconstitutional in his rulings against President Trump, it really looks like there's a conspiracy to put him in jail, to put him behind bars. And if President Trump is in chains going to Rikers Island, then, would you want to buy a U.S. Treasury the next day?
What kind of a question is that? Hell yeah, I would. Aren't you an economist, or did you also take Fox News' money to shell out lies and become a shell of your former self? If I'm any sane American or foreign government outside of Russia or China and see that the U.S. is locking up the biggest potential threat to global peace, stability, and democracy, I'd say that's a pretty good economic indicator. In fact, I'd go so far as to say USA to the moon, which clearly, according to MAGA geniuses, hasn't happened yet.
The thing that I'm really worried about short-term risks for the economy is that the Democrats are serious in this lawfare, and if they actually succeed, then imagine, it's like we become a banana republic the moment they take them to Rikers, and I just can't imagine what happens to Treasury markets that day.
All right, you literally just lost all credibility in my eyes. First of all, how do you come to such a ridiculous conclusion? And secondly, how the hell do you misuse banana republic so badly? Honestly, I have no idea what you were going for here, but a banana republic is a country with an economy of state capitalism whereby the country is operated as a private commercial enterprise for the exclusive profit of the ruling class. Nothing to do with jailing criminals for crimes. And a country being operated as a private commercial enterprise for the exclusive profit of the ruling class? Who the hell does that sound like?
I like the Saudis. They're very nice. I make a lot of money with them. They buy all sorts of my stuff. All kinds of toys from Trump. They pay me millions and hundreds of millions. And I get along great with all of them. They buy apartments from me. They spend 40 million, 50 million. We are with Saudi Arabia. We're staying with Saudi Arabia.
We've become very good friends.
Trump reportedly made a big promise to oil CEOs. What did he tell them?
This is according to the Washington Post. He said, give me $1 billion and I will cut Biden's emission rules and I'll lift the freeze on natural gas permits and other things.
What do you mean, give me $1 billion?
Fundraising.
To his campaign?
Fundraising. Yeah. I need your money and your support, and I'll do things that'll help you. He reportedly met with executives from the big companies, Exxon, Chevron, and some of the smaller players, too. I spoke with an oil man who did not attend the meeting at Mar-a-Lago. He said, look, I love Trump, but $1 billion is a big ask. It is not a deal. Because Trump said, I'll give you a deal. I'll do all these things if you can pony up the $1 billion. But that's apparently
That's just so typical.
Well, at least not everyone at Fox is a Trump teat-suckling sycophant.
Okay, Congressman, we're losing the country. So, with all due respect, I'm not blaming you specifically, but it's not enough to set up a committee that's called the weaponization of federal government. That's not doing it for anybody. We want to hear more from you. We want to hear action. We want to know what the heck is going on in this New York trial where nobody can seem to come up with a crime.
Oh, Maria, I think I can take this one. Have you considered that maybe the one coming up with the crime is, well, the guy on trial?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm specifically doing. Of course, I serve on these committees. I don't chair them necessarily, but I serve on them. Happy to play whatever part because I agree with you. I've introduced and we have actually passed out of the Judiciary Committee the No More Political Prosecutions Act, which would actually inhibit state prosecutors from being able to go after presidents, former presidents like they are. It would remove these venues in the state of New York, Atlanta, and elsewhere to a federal court should the president decide to do it.
Yeah, so with your taxpayer money, Republicans will not only delay foreign aid packages, sabotage any sort of movement on the border, not address healthcare or any of the other real problems facing Americans, they will in fact go out of their way to stop political persecutions and make it easier for Donald Trump to get away with murder or whatever he wants in the name of presidential immunity. And if you don't think he's gunning to be Dictator Von Diaper, boy have I got some news for you.
They say Project 2025 will change your life. For once, they're telling the truth.
Donald Trump gets in for 4 more years. He's going full throttle.
Project 2025 is Trump's plan to make America different, less free, less fair, less American. It's a roadmap for total control, Trump's control.
The gloves are off. There are no holds barred here.
Not just of the government, of your life, of your body, of every one of your freedoms, of what you can read and say, and where you can travel. He'll round up American citizens, use the government to punish his enemies, put the crazy and corrupt in power forever.
It's 4 years of scorched earth when Donald Trump retakes the White House.
But he promises to only be a dictator for one day. One day, sure.
The former criminal-in-chief has a concrete plan to strip away your rights, remove any opposition, and further incorporate the government in your life. And Republicans and their yappy-ass mouthpieces are trying to let him do it in the name of stopping political persecution. They're not trying to stop the weaponization of the government. They're just trying to make sure the weapons are pointed at the people they want.
A lot of Republican base voters are very frustrated because, yeah, it is a one-vote majority, but you know what? If the Democrats had a one-vote majority, they'd be exercising raw power and using brute force to force through their agendas.
Give me a break. All Republicans and Fox News can do is project their own insecurities and very real, unveiled threats against our democracy at the other side while doing everything in their thankfully limited and useless power to try to ensure that if they get power, they don't lose it. And their incompetence cannot be the only thing that we let get in their way. So to use Maria's own words against her,
what are you doing about it?
Because the last thing I will do is sit idly by and be quiet. So make sure you sound off in the comments, vote blue in November, and get these traitors out of power and their screeching mouthpieces off of our television screens. Thanks for watching, folks. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell notification to stay up to date. And if you can, help support the work we're doing here at Really American via our Patreon in the description. Because the only way we can fight the BS from faux news and the right is to call it out and absolutely ridicule it when we see it. Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you guys in the next one.